Again, I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir, and it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for taking out time out of your busy schedule to come over here. The area which you're working for and the aim which you're working towards is definitely praiseworthy. And along with this, without wasting much of the time, I would just like to introduce Sir to our audience. Sir is one of the co-founders of Delhi Vegan Movement for Animal Liberation Rights, and they basically work on veganism. So there are various doubts of current generation related to why veganism. They are just there are many myths that it will not eat animals, then will eat us. Some myths like this as well. So all these myths, all these things would be discussed with Sir. Sir's name is Amjor Chandran. I'm really sorry if I couldn't pronounce it in the right way. So along with it, we would just start by asking Sir about their organization and how it all started. So, Sir, over to you.
So thank you so much. So I'm vegan activist since 7 years. So we started. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
So we started Delhi Vegans for Animal Liberation in 2018 April 4. So we four vegans met during an event and we decided to do an outreach. So since then we have been doing so many events in Delhi, including marches, protests, and face the truth. We interact with people. We show the standard practices of industries in which animals are used and exploited. So basically our aim is to make people understand that animals are sentient beings. So we should acknowledge the sentience and make a resolve to do the least harm possible. We shouldn't be using or exploiting them for food, clothing, entertainment, or any other purpose.
Yes, sir. It's definitely very praiseworthy again, the area which you're working for. So, पर सबसे पहले बहुत सारे डाउट्स आते हैं जब कोई भी वेगनिज्म सुनता है. कई लोग तो एज ट्रेंड चल रहा है तो फॉलो कर लेते हैं, जैसे कि विराट कोहली बने हैं वेगनिज्म वीगन, तो पीपल आर लाइक ठीक है उन्होंने किया तो हम भी करेंगे. दे एक्चुअली डोंट नो द रीजन. एंड उसके साथ साथ सर सबसे पहले मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, क्या ऐसा कोई इंसिडेंट था या ऐसी कोई चीज थी जिसने आपको मोटिवेट किया या जिसने आपको पुश किया कि यू हैव टू वर्क इन दिस डायरेक्शन, यू हैव टू वर्क फॉर एनिमल्स?
Yeah, before answering your question, I think it's a misconception that celebrities like Virat Kohli is vegan. I think it's fair to say he's plant-based, because vegan is not just a diet; it's an ethical stance against the injustice meted out to animals. So the reason why I went vegan is because I realized we are using and exploiting animals for no valid reason. I turned vegetarian when I was in 12th standard, and I was not an animal advocate. I became an animal advocate after realizing that we are not dependent on animals to fulfill our nutritional purpose. Even though I was a vegetarian, I was not preaching for animals. But once I learned about nutrition, then I realized we are killing them just for pleasure. Then I learned about speciesism. Like I said, the norm that the belief that we are superior to animals and we can do whatever we want with the animals. That's what we are trying to change. Because they're also sentient beings. We can't use them, exploit them. So once I had this realization, once I learned about nutrition, then it completely changed the way I used to look at animals. Then I decided to go vegan, and I realized that when you have the privilege to know, you have a duty to act. So when I understood I was wrong seeing animals a certain way, I decided to be an activist and educate people.
Yes, sir. So, when we talk about veganism as a thing, so the first thing which comes to people's mind is that अगर हम वेजिटेरियन बन गए, like I would stress on being vegetarian because वो एक major chunk है, major part है. I know that milk is also not allowed, like cow milk is not allowed in veganism, but almond milk and those things are allowed. पर एक मेजर चंक जो वेगनिज्म का है, दैट इज बेसिकली ऑन कि नॉन वेजिटेरियंस को प्योर वेजिटेरियंस में लेकर आना. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द वेरी फर्स्ट डाउट व्हिच पीपल हैव इज दैट ओके वी डू अंडरस्टैंड दैट एनिमल्स नीड्स प्रोटेक्शन, बट पहली चीज अगर हम उन्हें मारेंगे नहीं, आई नो इट इज वेरी काइंड ऑफ लाइक आई डोंट नो फ्रॉम वेयर इट केम, बट अगर हम उन्हें मारेंगे नहीं तो वो इतनी पॉपुलेशन में दे विल ग्रो इन साइज दैट दे विल ईट अस इफ वी विल नॉट ईट देम. एंड सेकंड थिंग व्हिच पीपल हैव इज, अरे इफ आई eat vegetarian, then how would I develop a body? How would I be equal in strength with my peers? How would I get the same amount of nutrition? Although these are myths, I know it, but it would be really great to know from you that how and in which direction the youth would be educated and what message you want to give on these recipes.
Like I said, veganism is not a diet. Vegetarianism, non-vegetarian, plant-based is our diets. Veganism is an ethical stance. So it's not like we are trying to convert meat eaters to vegetarian then to vegan. No, we are basically saying animals are sentient beings. We shouldn't be using or exploiting them not only for food but for clothing, entertainment, or for any other purpose. So once people realize they are being speciesistic, they are having this prejudice towards animals, then they will make that shift. Some people go instantly vegan. Some people go, leave meat first. Some people take a period to transition basically. So we are not promoting any diet. We just say stop exploiting animals, whether you're doing it for milk, for meat, egg, doesn't matter. And the second question you asked, when you are a bodybuilder, right? Will you get enough nutrients? So this is a big myth. Like only animals have protein. So the thing is, protein is the chain of amino acids which is produced by plants. Where do animals get their protein? From plants. So we don't have to feed animals plants and then wait for them to reach age of slaughter, kill them and take the protein. We can get it directly from plants. There are plenty of vegan athletes and bodybuilders who are thriving on a plant-based diet. The famous tennis player Novak Djokovic is on a plant-based diet. Like you said, Virat Kohli is following a plant-based diet. I won't say he's a vegan because I never heard him say speaking for animal rights. I don't know if he's using leather or promoting any plants because it's not just a diet. There are plenty of athletes who are thriving on a plant-based diet. So this is a big myth.
All right. So, coming forward, that what is like the life of vegan? That you mentioned that we are not just only focusing that you should not eat eggs or non-vegetarian, but we are focusing that you should not drink milk and you should not exploit animals for plants, animals for clothing, right? Like it is basically on the wool and linen kinds of clothes which are basically there like silk and wool. I think we don't know much about it. The audience also would not know much about it. If you could throw light that why you're also working that animals should not be exploited for clothes when from the sheep or from any other animal, like I just have this example of sheep, we are just extracting the upper part which is not actually useful to the sheep, like does it causes any pain to sheep or what is the procedure and why you're working on this particular thing.
No, I recommend you to watch some videos how the wool industry functions. See, any industry where animals are used, they are exploited, they are tortured. So it's not like just taking the wool or leather. I mean, even in leather, they're just slaughtering the buffaloes once they stop producing milk. So in every industry, there is cruelty. Even in silk industry, the earthworms are, boiled in water. So if you see the standard practices of wool industry, silk industry, leather industry, any industry where animals are used, even cosmetics which touch on animals, is extremely cruel and brutal. You won't be able to watch these videos. So forget. Then definitely, if you imagine yourself in such a situation, no one will pay for animal abuse.
Yes, sir. So along with it, what is the life of a vegan? Like since you have many things which are used in the common instance, you can't use them because of the ethical moral values which you have. And there would also be like I'm covering two aspects. One thing is like what is your life in terms of choices which you are making, like how did it affected your life when you started it, because obviously I guess since you mentioned that after 12th you turned vegetarian and thereafter you turned vegan, so there was a gradual shift. So it was then that you were vegan from starting. So how did it affected your choices that okay, I can't do this, I can't do this? And secondly, what was the peer pressure around? Like people around you would be definitely most probably that अरे कोई बात नहीं सर्दी है let's ले लो. I don't know like हमारे यहाँ तो रिश्तेदार जब आते हैं अच्छा ये कपड़े ले लो गर्मी के सर्दी के कपड़े. So they would definitely be giving those things which were used in normal course. So how did you manage it? It actually covered three aspects.
Okay, so I'll answer one question,
Over to
like
you, sir.
how the people around me reacted. Okay. So people around me reacted very disappointingly when I realized I'm exploiting animals. I should be doing it. I instantly went vegan. So I was under the impression that everyone will change just like that. So I was thinking, as and when I tell people, they would change, but it doesn't happen. So there are two reasons why people don't go vegan. One, because of ignorance, and two, I would say selfishness. Because once you realize you are causing unnecessary harm to someone, you should go vegan. But people are lazy. They don't have such strong sense of justice. I mean, they don't think too much, especially when it's your own relatives. They take you for granted. But for me, it was an easy transition because I was not someone who was addicted to taste. I turned vegetarian and I was not eating meat, obviously, and I was eating paneer and all. I was not aware about the alternate. Even now, I don't consume alternatives. You used to mention almond milk, right? I don't consume almond milk, soy milk, or any kind of alternatives. These are only for habits. So for me, like I said, I learned about nutrition. So I was absolutely sure there is nothing that I will miss if I stop consuming animal products. So it was easy for me. I just stopped consuming animal products. That's it. Because I was already having a good diet. I was eating paneer. So instead of paneer, I used to take soy chunks or something for protein. So it was very easy for me, for someone like me who is not addicted to the taste. And I would say taste is not a justification. Pleasure is not a justification to exploit someone. So even if you're addicted to the taste, there are plenty of alternatives. Like you mentioned, almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk, and all these things you can make at home.
So, along with it, another thing which comes into the mind of people is that when you turn vegan, one thing is the number of choices they get to decrease from the earlier choices which you had, and another thing is that for the people who are not doing much financially, or the people who are not independent yet, dependent on their parents or on their relatives or someone, so for them it could turn out to be a costly thing in case, like, if they are living at hostels or if they're living at PGs. In case if they try to turn it, one thing is that they would get a backlash from the parents and relatives, and second thing is that they would at starting might find it very difficult to compensate it with the regular co-curriculum which they are following. For example, if we talk about a student, then whatever he'll get in mess, he has to eat it, and then he has to run to college. He'll come around 7 or 6 or 5 at whatever time, and again in that college, like, no such options are there. And if he opts for something which is actually there in accordance with the ethical practices of veganism, then in that case it might be heavy on his pocket. So for such students, or the people who want to turn vegan, but there are some circumstances which couldn't allow them, like, I don't know if it is a myth or something, that it is quite heavy on pocket. I know it wouldn't be if you like you are at home or something, but if you're not at home, you're living, you're dependent. Secondly, if it is heavy on the pocket, and secondly, if the circumstances couldn't permit. So what is your take on this, though?
Ma'am, like I said, these alternatives, vegan alternatives like almond milk, cashew milk, or soy curd, or tofu, whatever it is, these things are not necessity. They're only for your taste. So when you realize the taste is not a good enough reason to cause suffering to someone, you will automatically, eliminate these things from your diet. As someone like me, I'm not addicted to anything. I'm not addicted to tea, coffee, or anything. So it was easy for me. So it's very pocket friendly because you're just eliminating animal products from your diet. You're not adding something else like some vegan alternatives. It's not necessary at all. So most places where you eat, there will be vegan options, and it's economical actually. So for instance, if you go to a hotel and order butter roti costs more than normal roti, right? So for instance, 20 rupees for a tandoori roti or something. If you add butter to it, it costs 30 rupees. So you just have to tell the waiter that please don't add a curd or cream or anything which comes from animal product. That's it. So even in a mess, you can have if you have a good rapport with the people who are making food, you can basically tell them don't put ghee, don't put dahi or any kind of animal product. Even honey for that matter. Honey is not vegan.
Okay, yes. Like, it didn't stick my mind. It took me a second to process it. How when it's not vegan. So along with it, one thing I have a doubt is that since our generations we have been living in this that you should eat dahi, doodh and makhan, malai, ghee for your good health. But I feel at that time we actually had desi Gau Mata, and at that particular time they were not tortured in this sense because I know some of the people, or I guess some of the companies who actually produce the ghee, but they actually first of all give all the milk to the calf. For example, if she's giving producing milk, and thereafter they don't torture, they play, they are like कि घर की गैया हमारे यहाँ, they say like they घर की गैया हैं, and they love that गौ माता, like she's in their room and things like this. So I just want to ask that are these things possible even today? And if it is possible, then in that case, is it, according to you, is it all right to have a milk and ghee if we are making in that manner, where there is no weaning, where we are giving the whole of the milk to the calf, and thereafter, if there is some milk, then we are getting it? Because there have been researches and there have been the things which have shown that a cow, if she is kept given good fodder, she's given all the good things which are required, which are not actually given in today's dairy industry because of the, I guess, cruelty which is happening. But if she's given in that manner, then at that time she produces very good amount of milk, and that is much sufficient for the calf as well as for the humans. So I just want to know your take on this. That if first thing is it possible in today's dairy industry to transform in such manner? Secondly, if it is possible, then is it okay according to you to consume milk in other products? So your take on it.
Am I audible? I think your video is. Oh,
Yes,
am I
yes,
audible?
sir.
Okay. First of all,
Yes, sir.
a mother is producing milk for whom? Who is the mother producing milk for? Forget the cow and buffalo and everything. Who is mother producing milk? It's baby,
For
right? Right. A dog milk is for dog's baby. Sheep milk is for sheep's baby. Right. A giraffe milk is for giraffe's baby. Same way, cows produce milk for her baby. And can you name one institution or any place where there is ethical milk happening, like you mentioned? Have you seen any place? I would like to visit that place actually, if there is any such place exists.
so
It doesn't. It doesn't. Because you mentioned cow, you mentioned calf. So what about the bull? Who is taking care of the bull? See, naturally when they are mating and they are having a calf, it's like any other animal. What we are doing is the first step of not just dairy farms, even the local farms. The first step is artificial insemination or forceful mating. They are forcefully mating a bull and a cow, or they are artificially inseminating a cow or a buffalo. So the first step itself is cruel. So it's not just like cruelty in milking or the slaughter that happening afterwards. The first step itself is cruel. So when you're artificially impregnating someone against their will, that itself is wrong. Or if you're forcefully mating two animals, that itself is wrong. And cow only produces milk as much as what the baby needs. When they are injected oxytocin and other hormones, and when they're genetically modified, that's when they produce too much quantity of milk. And one very important thing is more than 50% of the milk comes from buffaloes. No one talks about buffaloes. So, there's, a lot of people talk about Gau Mata, protecting cows and all, but no one talks about buffaloes. More than 50% of milk comes from buffaloes, and all of them are slaughtered. And buffalo slaughter is not banned anywhere in India. We are like 1.5 billion people. We are demanding milk, and buffalo slaughter is not banned anywhere in India. And artificial insemination of cow is not banned anywhere in India. And India is a leading exporter of beef because of dairy industry. Once buffaloes stop producing milk, they are killed for beef and leather. So we are the leading producer of beef and leather because of dairy industry. So there is no way we can ethically milk cow. And why are we demanding milk, something which we don't even need? See, you understand, like we don't need dog's milk, cat's milk, rat's milk for for our health to be healthy. Same way, we don't need cow's milk or buffalo's milk. We are the only species in this world which drink milk of another species. We are the only species which drink milk even in adulthood. When we talk to meat eaters, some of them argue that animals eat other animals. But when it comes to consumption of dairy, there is no single animal which drink milk of another species or drink milk even in adulthood. Milk is baby food. It's never meant for us. Nature intended for the baby of the cow, not for us.
Okay, thank you for clarifying and giving your valuable input on this stuff. So along with it, I wanted to we all wanted to know that what are the initiatives which have to be organization and what are the lookouts for the coming years which you're working and what is your aim gradually to put it up.
So our aim is to end animal exploitation. Our ultimate aim is animal liberation. Human beings should understand that animals are not ours to be used or exploited. So we do different events once in 3 months, per se. So in Bangalore and Indore, we did a march in the month of March. March 18, we did Bangalore, and we did Indore in March 25. So there were like hundreds of people coming from different cities and marching for animals. Through these marches, we were able to reach out to a lot of people. And then we do events like Don't Fool Yourself. On April 1st, we did this event, Don't Fool Yourself. Like I said, the standard practices of these companies are extremely cruel. When you see the ad campaigns of dairy or egg industry, you will see happy cows, happy buffaloes, or happy chickens. But that's not the reality. So you want people to know what is the reality. So on Fool's Day, that is April 1, we did this event, Don't Fool Yourself. So we held a placard with what these companies show, what's actually happening. And in Mother's Day, we did basically this campaign, Forgotten Mothers. So animals are also mothers. Every industry where animals are exploited is exploitation of female reproductive system. So we did this event, Forgotten Mothers. And now in the month of August, we'll be doing this event, Freedom for All. So we celebrate our independence on August 15, but animals are still enslaved. So for them, we are doing this event, Freedom for All. And then we are planning to do an animal liberation march, ideally in Delhi, if we get permission, or in some other city. So these are our future plans. So everything that we do is basically to create awareness, to make people understand that we shouldn't be exploiting animals and we should go vegan.
These are very beautiful events which you have told and very beautifully conducted as I could just get it from you. So along with it, for the people, I just wanted to ask that are you working full time into this role of veganism or it is that you are conducting it as out of your passion? And if your organization offers internships to various students or the audience who is watching it, like of any age group.
Actually, I'm not working for an organization as of now. I used to work for an organization, PIAPO, in 3-4 years back. Now I'm completely doing it independently. So I make videos for animals. I have a Malayalam page, Vegan Locum, and I make English videos, Hindi videos on my page, Amjor Chandran, and we create content from vegan Indian movement. So I'm doing it independently. We're not an organization yet.
Thank you so much. I would just like to ask that what were the challenges which you have faced or which you thought that you will face while coming through this process?
When I turned vegan, you're asking me when I turned vegan, what challenges I faced?
When you started actually teaching people about veganism, what challenges you faced then once this movement was started?
But initially, I was thinking I'm the only vegan in India. I had no idea about the vegan community. So I used to get inside buses. I used to go to schools and colleges and give lectures. So initially, like I said, I was under the impression that everyone will agree instantly. But then it hit me like, oh, not everyone has such a strong sense of justice. So I would say there are people who respond positively. And most people, when you interact with them, they agree to the message. They may not instantly go vegan, but most people agree to the message. But someone has to have a strong sense of justice that, no one should suffer because of me. And once you make that resolve, then it's easy to go vegan. So backlash in the sense, yeah, some people who are completely against this, they will argue that like plants feel weak. There are all sorts of excuses. So honestly, there is no single valid argument against veganism. So if someone is having a sensible argument, you cannot debunk this fact that animals shouldn't be used or exploited. So whatever challenges are, I mean, face in terms of people attacking or some people being rude, doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, I'm speaking facts. I'm speaking the truth that if you're not a vegan, you're exploiting animals. So nothing much actually.
So at last, what would be the message which you want to give to the audience who has been watching you?
So I would say if you hate injustice, it doesn't matter if you love animals or not. It's not about compassion towards animals or it's not about rescuing animals. It's all well and good if you do that after being vegan. If you're not a vegan, please consider going vegan because animals are sentient beings just like us. They feel pain, they have families, they have emotions. So we should treat them like individuals. We have the capacity to suffer. We wouldn't discriminate people based on caste, race, sex, sexual orientation, gender, nothing. Same way discriminating individuals based on species. If someone kill a dog, it's not cruelty. But someone slit the throat of a sheep or a goat, it's mutton biryani. We should change that perspective. We should see them as individuals and we should go vegan. And if you're vegan, please be active for animals and give your absolute best for animals. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful interacting with you and the various insights which we actually got to know from you. And I hope that everyone at least would consider going vegan or at least trying to go vegan for that matter. Again, thank you so much. You're doing a wonderful job. I actually, I could just appreciate. I don't have much to say in that. So thank you so much again. The area which you're working for is definitely praiseworthy. Keep going and keep awareing the people about this. Thank you so much.
Will you stop exploiting animals? Will you? I'm asking you. To be a vegan, you don't have to do anything, unlike climbing Mount Everest. If you want to climb Mount Everest, you have to go out there and do it. But being vegan means complete inaction. You just need to stop participating in exploiting animals. First of all, we are not dependent on animals to fulfill our nutritional requirements. You don't need milk, eggs, meat to be healthy. There are peer-reviewed researches that acknowledges this fact. So stop stealing milk from babies. Stop paying people to impregnate cows and buffalo. Stop stealing eggs. Stop stealing honey. Stop paying people to slit the throat of animals. Also stop using makeup materials which are tested on animals. Same with cosmetics. Stop wearing animal skin. And it is your personal choice to travel in a bus or a train, but it's not your personal choice to ride on horses and elephants. They cannot give us consent. So anything that we do to an animal should be in the best interest of that animal. So, will you stop exploiting animals?